Hey, it's fine. Now it's taping.
Okay, cool. So we took the potatoes out of the oven. They cooked about an hour and 15 minutes. Calls for 50, but I like my potatoes to be really super creamy. You can use any potato you want, but I recommend red potatoes or Yukon Golds because they cook very nicely. Russets are more for like mashed potatoes and whatnot. And once again, I left the skins on these because I like the rusticness of them.
And in the prior video, did you mention the cheese?
The cheese is a cheddar cheese sauce, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all in that video, I believe.
I don't think you mentioned the type of cheese.
Okay, I used 3/4 of a cup of cheddar cheese.
Mm.
So, but the whole recipe, the roux and everything should be back there somewhere. So, okay, so we're gonna just let those cool. They're gonna take a while to cool, and we're going to keep our oven heated. It's at 350 for the potatoes, but I'm gonna bring it up to 375 for my asparagus because I like a really quick cook on those. So they're tender in the middle, but you know, still firm.
Okay.
Yeah, so. Okay, over here,
Are we
I've got my
gonna-
asparagus. I'm washing it. I wash my vegetables in a little bit of vinegar. It gets rid of the pesticide taste, especially on things that, you know, are above ground or whatever, or even below ground. But yeah, I just find that it really sharpens the taste of my vegetables and my fruits if I give it some kind of a wash, and vinegar does not leave a taste. So those have been rinsed. I put it in for about 30 seconds or so, a minute. And then I rinse them, and there they are. So I've already cut the stems off, so I'm going to go ahead and just dry those off a little bit, and I'm going to put them in my baking sheet here. I like to keep them long because they're really, really pretty that way, and plating looks a lot nicer. So we'll put that there. This is my olive oil. I'll sprinkle a little olive oil on them. Roll in the olive oil, and then I'll put a little salt on them. And really, that's about it. They're just going to go in there and be yummy little pieces of goodness. Okay. Put a little pepper on them as well. I like a lot of pepper. Really livens everything up. Okay, so we're going to put these in the oven. And they'll be in there for about 15 minutes. I'll check them at 15 minutes. Sometimes it takes 20, depending on how my oven is acting. And now we have our pork chops, which have been at room temperature for an hour. They obviously have been brined, so they don't need anything on them. I like to use an organic canola oil as opposed to olive oil. It's a lot lighter, so you don't want to overpower the pork. So we're going to do 2 pans tonight. That's about not a quarter of a cup, about 3 tablespoons of oil. Actually, this one over here. Move you over here. Put you over there. That over there. So those are my big burners. I like to do them all at the same time so everybody can eat together. And put it on medium.
So what kind of vegetable you would recommend
Canola.
instead of?
Canola, grapeseed, safflower.
No, instead of the asparagus, if somebody doesn't like the asparagus with the meal.
Broccoli.
Broccoli, yeah, or a salad, you know,
Good.
because we do a lot of salads because he's not a huge fan of vegetables per se, but he loves a good salad, so I would. And also, if you're a real foodie, sometimes it's fun to put applesauce on your pork chop.
How is that? Or why is that?
Why is that, Lauren? A lot of people like it. Where'd you go? There you are.
There's a little bit of, I think the tartness blends well with the pork flavor.
Exactly. So actually, these are a little bit fattier than I want them to be. So even though we're done with the process, I'm going to take a little bit of fat off of here. And the brine kind of makes it like puff up a little bit. I want a little bit on there just so it has the fat for the tenderization, but we don't need these big chunks of fat. So, these are actually a local butcher, so they're very nice and pretty much lean and locally sourced. So if I was going to get all fancy, which I've never done this yet, but I would strip the pork chop back so it had that nice bone. Like you could pick it up and eat it with your hands, but we're not going to do that tonight. We're just going to focus on the brining process because that's the most important. Then you can do the cut however you want. So we're going to just wait a minute while the oil heats up. It looks like it's pretty warm. This one is very temperamental, so it's going to go down a little bit further. This one wants to be a little bit higher. I wish I had gas. So we're going to take this little guy and put him in here. So I want to get a good sear on the outside. So I'm going to do it at kind of a high heat, a medium high heat. So you keep them apart so they don't stain. I want to get a really good brown on them. And then once they're, I'd say about 3 minutes. These are kind of like steaks. You want to get a good sear on the first part and then flip them every 2 minutes till they're done.
Okay.
The temperature must read 130 on your thermometer, but these are going to go really, really fast because of the brining process. It kind of cures them and they just cook fabulously. So these other ones in. Yeah, so these are going to go much faster than if I did like a fancy steakhouse 2.5-inch brined pork chop. They have them in Portland. They're amazing. That's how I discovered brining. Was at Tasty and Daughters. So yeah, I just want to really get a good sear on them. And the great thing about, that they say about steaks is you want to flip them because that keeps, it retains the juices in the middle. So, and then I'm going to put a garlic clove in each pan. Just going to sit in there and kind of give it a little flavor. And it calls for basting on the big pork chop. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of doing a play on the big pork chop, giving it all the flavor that they would have in a small way. So we're just going to stick this right in the pan, like so. And shortly, as we get to the end, we're going to put a little bit of butter, like I'd say a tablespoon of butter in each pan to give a little moisture so I can baste them with a little thyme. So, we're just cooking now, waiting for a good sear. Like I said, I have to peek at everything because my stove is temperamental. You can cut lemon if you want.
I'm sorry?
I said you can cut lemon if you want because it's going to be kind of repetitious. And we're going to say, okay, now we're going to turn it, but it's going to take a while. So we can sit here and go.
All right, we're going to take a break.
Yeah.